What's good? What's poppin', everybody? Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're talking about New World. It's right around the corner. It's about 2 weeks away. So I figured I'd do a little top 5 video of the weapon combos that I think they should try out during launch. Now, we don't know everything about what's going to be coming out, what tweaks and balance changes they're going to be making, whether or not the Void Gauntlet's going to be released. But I think these top 5 are going to be good on launch pretty much no matter what. With that being said, if you like this kind of content or want to see more, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and comment down below. I'm going to be doing a lot of New World content when it's going to be coming out. With that being said, let's go right into it. The first weapon combo that I think is going to work out well is going to be a Great Axe and Hatchet. Now, that has been kind of a staple that's been in New World a while. Even if, though, the Hatchet's Berserk got nerfed, it's still going to be really good. I think that it still provides really great utility and damage and healing, and it's still going to be very strong along with the Great Axe that has great AoE damage. It has some CC to it. Again, another sustainability, survivability. It's going to be great at 1v1s. It'll be good at 2v2s and 3v3s, so small skirmishes. If you check more into the single target damage, you're going to see that not be doing as well in your wars or maybe your outpost rushes where there's going to be a lot of people in at once. Though you can easily tech into it with like Whirlwind with your Great Axe and stuff like that. You probably want to stay away from the throwing axe side of the hatchet. As cool as it is, it's just not as great as its other part. And then when it comes to expeditions and questing and leveling, they're going to be great combos for you. Again, survivability, has mobility, and a lot of AoE damage and single target damage. So it's going to be a really great overall. The one thing that you might lack when you're running these builds is going to be a little bit of being able to chase somebody down. Now, you do have Reap from the Axe, potentially charge if you tagged into that, and then Berserk. But you will still have no long range really. So kiting somebody or finishing somebody off might be difficult sometimes. But still overall really, really great combo that I think no matter what's probably going to be able to stay viable throughout the launch of the game and months down the road. All right, second one I think is going to be good. Maybe not talked about as much as I think it should be, but is the Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet combo. Two of the only weapons that are scale off of intelligence as of right now. Like, we know the Void Gauntlet is in the works. Whether or not it comes out during launch, we don't know. But if it does, it's rumored to be scaling off of intelligence as well. Whether or not that is true or not, we'll have to see. But right now, they're the only two that scale off intelligence. They provide really great CC and damage. Ice Gauntlet focuses more, I'd say about 60% on crowd control and just control of the battlefield, and 40% of it is damage. And the flip side is the Fire Staff. Fire Staff is 60%, I'd say, more damage with some CC if you tech into it, like your ring that pushes people back. And you have a little bit of mobility with your Fire Dash on the staff. Overall, this is going to be really good in 2v2s and 3v3s. I don't actually think this is a really great build for 1v1s. It doesn't have a lot of single target damage. You would think it does, but it's mainly better for supporting damage and or in big team fights with wars and outpost rushes. It excels in that. It's going to do great in boss fights and expeditions. You might have a little bit of trouble when it comes to leveling and questing, only because your light armor and you don't have a lot of survivability, you don't have any innate healing. So you're gonna have to be just a little bit more careful when you're leveling or questing. Open world PvP, if somebody does get on you without you knowing, there's a chance that you're gonna go down pretty quickly with light armor. And not a lot of survivability. You definitely can still beat people in 1v1s, but it's going to be a little bit harder of a matchup. All right, the next weapon I think combo that is probably what I'm going to try out, I love it, is going to be the Rapier and either the bow or the musket. Rapier, there's two different build paths, right? One is a more dot, a little bit of bursty side, and the other one is the dashes and a little bit more mobility and invulnerability with the riposte and stuff. I'm going to try out both. I think both can be very good. I think currently I'm forgetting the name, but the dashing one that makes you a little bit untargetable for a second, I think right now is better than the Tondo and Flourish, I think it's called, which is the dot, and then you can do burst damage by taking off the dot. I think that the mobility and the invulnerability that it gives you on the other tree is just better right now. And then with bow or musket, I think that it's going to come down to preference. I think musket offers longer range, obviously, and I think has a little bit more burst damage. That powder shot and power shot are extremely strong. They do a lot of damage. Now, where the bow shines over the musket is way more mobility. The musket really, when you're reloading, you're in animation lock and you can't move. The bow, so much more flexible. You can run and shoot. Now, you might take off a little bit more damage, but your survivability and maneuverability is just way up there compared to the musket. And it's going to excel in 1v1s. And in skirmishes is also still going to be good. Doesn't have a lot of AoE damage. The bow has a little bit if you tech into it, but it's not even the best way to play with the bow, in my opinion. So overall, you're still going to do better in 1v1s or small scale skirmishes. When it comes to big PvP battles, war, outpush rush, open world, whatever it is, you're not going to do that well. Your job is mainly going to be picking off the healers, coming in on the flanks and trying to take smaller fights. You don't excel in AoE damage by any means, and that's okay. I don't think there should be a one trick fits all, even though Great Axe and Hatchet kind of do. There is still some downsides to it, but yeah, the bow and musket with a rapier, great single target damage. You have a ton of stick, and people are going to be really hard to outlive you, outrun you. You're going to be able to track people down, chase them down. But in open world big battles, you're probably just not going to be doing too well. I'm going to try out both. I really like the musket, and I really like the bow. So it's just I think I might try to play them both out, but I would encourage you guys to try it out yourself and see which one you like more. Again, the bow is going to give you more survivability. It's still going to do good damage, don't get me wrong, and it's not going to have as long of range. But the musket, it's as much as it's just going to have more damage and longer range, you are stuck when you are shooting those things. Your crouch shot that gets, with the rapid shots, you're actually stuck there. You're not allowed to move, so you do open yourself up to vulnerabilities and being attacked. All right, so then I think we're on the fourth one. Number 4 is going to be Paladin build. Now, it did get nerfed heavily into the ground, which it needed to be, in my opinion. It was pretty oppressive. You could, I don't really need to go into it, but you could essentially beat anyone in 1v1 and never die. But I think the Paladin build, even though nerfed, is still going to be really useful. It's still going to be a fun build. I think that we might see less Great Axe life staff and instead go into the Warhammer and life staff. I think that's going to be a lot more of what the Paladin build should have been. It's going to offer really great tank, survivability, CC, and overall control and utility to a team. I think that's what the Paladin's role should be. And I think that we're going to see the Warhammer substituted for the Great Axe. It's going to be pretty good in 1v1s. It's still you might not be able to out-survive some people. They might be able to eventually whittle you down. But come 2v2s and 3v3s, you will dominate. And in open world or wars where there's large scale PvP, you're going to shine. You're going to have huge amounts of utility, CC, and healing. That's just pretty much unmatched. As of right now, the life staff is still the only way to heal, and the Great Axe has probably some of, if not the best, form of CC in the game right now. And you're just going to be a beef stick. You might not do as much damage as you used to with the Paladin build, but it's still going to be great. When it comes to leveling, again, you'll probably be fine. You're not going to do the most damage, but you will be able to tank a lot. It might be a little bit slower process, but if you do get ganked, it's going to be harder for that person to take you down right away. Now, you might not be able to turn and kill them right away, but you will probably be able to outlive them, run away, and not get ganked real easily. All right, now the last combo that I think will be able to stick through up until launch and past is probably going to be sword and board and hatchet. Now this is going to be an interesting little combo. Sword got a little bit of a buff / nerf with the patch notes that we just had, but I still think it's super reliable. I think that it does decent damage, but you still add a lot of utility to your team. The very last tech, whether you go on the shield or on the sword, either give damage or damage reduction depending on what tree you tech into, but that's great utility for your team. That just is always there, super powerful. Now the sword and hatchet, you're going to do some good damage, especially when it comes to the hatchet. But it's kind of like the great axe thing where you're going to excel in 1v1s are going to be pretty good for you. 2v2s and 3v3s will be fine. Big battles, you'll also do fine. You're going to be mainly probably using the sword in open world battles, big battles, rather than the hatchet. But the difference between the great axe and a hatchet versus the sword and shield and hatchet is that sword and shield offers a little bit more defensive buffs. There's a little bit more utility to your team. And you still, I mean, you take, you do that, but you take off having a little bit of damage that the great axe gives. I think it'll fill the same role, but it's just depending on what you want to do. I think the sword and board are also going to be better for people that are more accustomed or wanting to tank. It's just more typical. You have more defensive stats during that stuff, where the great axe is more for your brawlers, people that like doing more damage. I think the sword and board, I think everyone's been talking about it, and hopefully they do something about this, but being able to use more the shield with more weapons, one-handed weapons, they have said that is going to be coming, but right now all we have is with the sword. So right now that's probably the best bet if you want to kind of have a pseudo tank but also still do damage. All right, guys. I think that does it for my 5 weapon combos. Let me know if there's what you guys are going to be trying it out and when the game launches. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already. I'm going to be doing a lot of New World content when it's coming out. I really am enjoying what I've been playing so far and super excited to see where this game goes. I got high hopes for it. So make sure you're subscribed and you hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date with this kind of stuff. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Have a great day. Much love. Until next time, take it easy.